This is Bulldog Country, presented by Minnesota Power and Essentia Health.
What is up? Welcome to Bulldog Country. It's our weekly half-hour installment of news, highlights, and analysis of UMD Bulldogs athletics. Our chance to give you, the fans, a bit better idea what actually goes on with these teams and these players that you see competing for UMD. Coming up in tonight's show, we're talking a little football. UMD head coach Kurt Weezy was honored this week for his National Coach of the Year award. We're also going to talk about the Olympic Games and hear from the two current UMD women's players that left last week bound for Sochi. And we'll hear from the lone UMD representative on the men's side. That's former defenseman Justin Falk. We'll get his thoughts on his first ever Olympic appearance. But first, joining us is UMD head men's hockey coach Scott Sandelin. Coach, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it.
Yep, thanks for having me, Zach.
Talking about Justin, I mean, obviously the Olympic team as a 21-year-old is a huge accomplishment, but you got to be proud too of the NHL career that he's carved out for himself so far. He's a top four guy now for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, he's had a great start. Obviously, I mean, his first year he was on the all-rookie team in the league, and he continues to get better, and to have an opportunity to play in the Olympics. I know that was a coming from the development program where he came from. I think anytime you can play for your country, and certainly an event like that, it's pretty special. So I know he's excited about that.
Your guys here this past weekend, the first ever North Star College Cup for the 5 Division I teams in Minnesota getting together at the XO Energy Center. Your thoughts just on that tournament and the atmosphere that you had this past weekend?
Well, it kind of reminded me of the Final Five. I think that's kind of was the whole premise of the tournament, to get our schools together, obviously with the splitting of the conferences. But I thought it was a great start to the tournament. I thought the games were very competitive, which we expected. I thought the crowds were decent. We'd certainly like to continue to grow that, and hopefully that'll be the case. But just overall, I thought the tournament was very good, and certainly a lot of fun to play those teams again. And for us, it was awesome to have the opportunity to play in the championship game against Minnesota. And unfortunately, it didn't go our way with the shootout, but it was a heck of a hockey game, and proud of our guys. You
started the tournament on Friday afternoon with a game against Mankato, another longtime WCHA rival for you guys. So it was a hard-fought game down to the last 30 seconds of overtime, but you had to like the fight that you saw in your guys that night.
Yeah, it's one of the things I've been seeing here in the second half. I mean, I think our guys have really shown a lot of character, and we've been down, we've battled back. It hasn't really affected us, but we knew it was going to be a tough game. They were coming off a very good weekend, beating Ferris State. They were missing a couple guys, which sometimes everyone's like, well, you should beat them easier because 2 of their best players are out. But you always know that guys step up, and they have a very good team. And obviously we were fortunate to get the power play and get the bounce, and Alex put it in. But it was a good game, and our guys were excited to move on from that and get a chance to play either St. Cloud or Minnesota, and as it turned out, it was Minnesota.
And for the second time against those top-ranked Gophers on Saturday, for the second time in 3 games against them this season, your guys didn't look out of place at all on that ice sheet.
No, I was laughing. I had a couple people say, that we're going to need a Herculean effort to beat them, and I said, well, I guess so. And, our guys were excited to play. I mean, it's a championship game. We went down there with the mentality that these are our 2 last non-conference games, and we wanted to win both those games so that our non-conference record is good, and we want to continue to stay on a little bit of a roll that we're going on here in the second half. So our guys came out and played a great game. I thought the first period, the pace of the game, I thought our transition game and speed up the rink and pressure on the puck was what we need more of. And then I thought just overall, we never really kind of got away from that. I think, as you saw, their power play was very good, and that allowed them to stay with us, and our power play had 1 goal. But overall, it was just a great game, and good intensity, and it kind of had that playoff feel.
We talked to the guys about this year, but when you look back at the tape against those Minnesota teams, against the St. Cloud States, your team's not that far off from being right up there. I mean, just a few bounces here and there, but they're certainly capable of playing against those teams.
Well, I think you've seen that. We've beaten some good teams. We've beaten them. We've beaten Notre Dame. We should have beat St. Cloud here, but we didn't. But, at the end of the day, you got to continue to get better. We've played a great schedule. We've been in some tough games. We've been in some tight games. We've had a lot of things. We've had to find different ways to win. So I think in the long run, our team hopefully is going to continue to be prepared for those tough, tight games. And you know, this weekend was no different. So it's been the last 4 games have been overtime. So you might see a lot more of that here as we go down the stretch.
We've talked about your freshman forward, Alex Iafallo, a lot this season, quite frankly, because he keeps forcing us to. He's the conference rookie of the week again, but he just seems to be getting better and better in his freshman year.
Yeah, I think the break, the Christmas break, helped a lot of those guys just to rest up, and you know they've played a lot of minutes for us. But he's had a great season. He's had a great start to the second half. I think that line with Kraus and Dom and Alex have really kind of slowly come together and been a real good line for us. You know, they're generating a lot of chemistry. I mean, they're not afraid to go to the tough areas, and they're playing very well right now.
You talk about these being your last 2 non-conference games. Your team 5-3-2 in outside the NCHC this season. Are you happy with that mark? It seems like they've played well outside the conference.
Yeah, you know, I've liked our schedule. We've had a good mix. You know, we've played some WCHA teams, some Big Ten teams, Hockey East teams, so it's been good. And you know, obviously you'd like to be, you know, 10-0, but I think 5-3-2 with the games we've had and the teams we've played is good, and I think it shows because of, you know, the pairwise now. Those games certainly mean a lot. We certainly have to finish the league, you know, trying to battle for the top spot or certainly getting home ice. But you know, I'm really happy with the games that we played against our non-conference teams, and our record I think is okay.
And this weekend with the win and the official tie against the Gophers, it pushed you back up into the top 16 of those pairwise rankings, which for fans that don't know kind of mimic the NCAA selection process. So you feel like you're in a good place here moving forward?
Well, a lot better than we were a week ago. You know, those things can change. I mean, again, you got to continue to win games, and you know, we're going to a tough building in Western Michigan who's playing as well as anybody right now, and they were off last weekend, but you know, they've been on a roll, and they're ahead of us in the league standings. So it's an opportunity for us to catch them, and you just got to again go weekend by weekend, and you can get caught up in that stuff. But we put ourselves in a better position, finishing the non-conference on a good note, and now we've got to take care of league play. And
now 6 series left in that league play. You got to, I guess, win some games, try and get in that top half. Is that still the goal, or what do you want to accomplish out of these last 12 games?
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at how tight the league is. I mean, we're in 6th place, and we're 7 points out of first, and with the 6-point weekends, which I think are going to be hard to come by, you know, as we go down the stretch, because how tough and even teams are. You know, you got to continue to get points to stay in there. And you know, again, you know, if you get on a little bit of a 2-3 game run, you can move up in a hurry. And likewise, if you're not getting points, you go backwards in a hurry. So our goal is to go in and get points every weekend. Hopefully, win Friday, put ourselves in position to win and get more points on Saturday every weekend. And it's going to be a challenge, but I like the direction our team's going right now.
Perfect. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. We're going to have Coach back later this half hour talk about that series with Western Michigan. Stay tuned. We got more Bulldog Country coming up on the My9 Sports Network. Welcome back. First-year UMD football coach Kurt Weezy led his Bulldogs this past season to an 11-2 record and the NCAA Division II tournament. That opening stanza of his head coaching tenure was good enough to earn him the Liberty Mutual 2013 National Coach of the Year Award, an honor for which UMD threw him a little party on Monday afternoon. Coach also received $50,000 that he split between 5 local charities and $20,000 for the UMD Alumni Association. He says, though, the credit for this award belongs with his players on the field.
100% of it. You know, this award is for our kids. Those are the guys that are out in our community, engaged in our community, and doing a good job. And
speaking of good first impressions, we alluded to that of UMD men's hockey freshman Alex Iafallo earlier this half hour. Iafallo on Monday was named the National Collegiate Hockey Conference Rookie of the Week. That is the 3rd time this season he has won that particular award. He scored the game-winning overtime goal and added 2 assists in the Dogs' 5-4 Friday night win over MSU Mankato. He has 9 goals and 9 assists thus far through 22 games with the Bulldogs this season. One guy who played just 1 season at UMD but did leave a lasting legacy is defenseman Justin Falk. It helps that his 1 year was the 2010-2011 season in which UMD won its first ever NCAA National Championship, I suppose. Falk is now in his 3rd NHL season with the Carolina Hurricanes, and earlier this month was named for the first time in his career to the United States Olympic team. The 21-year-old has played 157 games in the NHL. He scored 16 goals and dished out 41 assists. But even with that success, playing for the Olympic team has always been a goal for the South St. Paul native.
It's a huge honor. When you get a chance to put on the USA jersey and represent your country in international level, especially the Olympic level, it's pretty exciting and it's a huge honor, like I said, and I'm just pretty excited to get over there and get going.
On the women's side of things, the second half of the season started with what must have been a very bittersweet goodbye for head coach Shannon Miller and for her players. UMD junior Taya Valela and freshman Lara Stalder both flew out last week, bound for the 2014 Sochi Winter Olympic Games. Valela will skate for Team Finland in next month's tournament, while Stalder will play for Team Switzerland. We caught up with both of them before they skipped town.
It's kind of like something that you don't know what's going to happen, so in a way I'm just going day by day, and we're going to have a camp, and then we're going to go there, have a week before we start playing, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm really excited. I mean, it's a little girl dream to go to the Olympics, and now it's becoming true, so yeah, I'm really excited.
All in all, there are 12 UMD connections, both former and current players and coaches to those 2014 Sochi Winter Olympic Games on the women's hockey side. We've got to take a break, but we've got more coming up. It's Bulldog Country on the My9 Sports Network. Welcome back. Joining us for this segment of the show is UMD women's basketball assistant coach Steph Reiter. Coach, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it.
Really excited to be here as well.
It's been a tough stretch, I guess, over the past couple weekends. The Bulldogs have lost 4 straight games. What's been going on, I guess, over those couple weekends? There's been a couple good teams in there. Yes. I mean, I don't want to say it's all on UMD. Yeah. The other teams have played well against you.
Every team we play is a very good team in our league, and so each game you have to be prepared for, and you have to be ready to play your best game. And we came out on a couple last weekend and came out well, just didn't finish it. So we are looking forward to this next weekend and, you know, playing some of the best teams in the conference once again and bringing our A game this time.
So as a coaching staff, what do you say to the girls? I mean, sometimes when you get into a streak where things maybe aren't going your way, it's tough to kind of get yourself out of it. So what do you tell them moving forward, because you still have 8 games left in this season?
I think that they are all still pretty positive with our game. They know that they are a talented team and that we just have to, you know, continue to work hard and play together. And it's 8 games. You know, a lot can happen in 8 games.
It seems like the optimism is there, that there's still a lot of time to get not necessarily what you wanted to do. I think that the conference title was what your main goal was, but you can still set yourself up for a good playoff run if you play well in these next 8 games.
Definitely, and that's what our goal is now. I mean, you have to kind of redefine what you're going for, and that's what's great about the conference tournament. Anybody can go and anybody can win it, and that's what we have to do now. You're
tied for 5th right now in the conference. Top 4 in that North Division are going to host a playoff game, so is that kind of where your goals lie right now?
Yeah, a lot of the teams for the NSIC that do host the home game, they are the ones that end up winning that first game. So we definitely want that home game and have our fans there to cheer us on.
What is the identity of this team? Basketball is one of those sports where it could change so much, and given your injury situation throughout this season, I'm sure it has, but what do you kind of see when you put the girls out on the floor right now?
I think that you know, our guards really had to step up. The junior class with Katrina and Hannah out had to step up and really bring a new level of scoring and rebounding and that sort of thing. And now with them all back together, hopefully we can mesh and really come strong, having our guards playing really well and having our post playing well.
You talk about Hannah. She's been strong for you her entire career, really, but this has been one of her better years. She leads you in points and rebounding. What about her makes her such a good player? I mean, she's big and she's physical down low, and in women's basketball, that's maybe something that's a little bit rare across the NSIC.
Yeah, and she has great ball skills. She's able to catch and rebound well, jump well. She's just an athlete. And anybody that's an athlete at 6'2" really can dominate in our league. So we hope that she continues that.
She's dealt with some injuries so far this season. So has Barnum native Katrina Newman, who really kind of started her career on the fast track and now maybe I think a little bit frustrating her senior season. But I've watched her kind of change her role when she went through the injury process where she couldn't be out on the floor or be doing as much as she could. Have you seen her grow kind of as a leader even in this season?
Yeah, she continues to motivate the team. She wants to win so bad that you can just see it coming out of her when we're playing the games. But, you know, she just has to keep focusing on doing all the little things and the points will come.
When you have two players like that as a coaching staff, is it easier to just kind of step back and especially maybe in a stretch that you've been going through to trust that they're going to come out on the other side of it just as a team?
Yeah, and they just have to find what pulls them together and makes them come together at the end of the game and make shots and get stops and that sort of thing. It's just putting a whole game together, and they definitely know what it takes. They've done it in the past. They just have to find a way, and we have to find a way this season.
You mentioned before we came on that every game right now is important to this team. You want to get all 8 if you can. But you certainly don't want to overlook this Friday night game. But Saturday night you got number 9 ranked Wayne State, and that could be just such a big momentum turner if you're able to play well and maybe steal a win on your home floor against that team.
Oh, definitely. They're a good team, and they always have been a good team. We kind of know what we need to do coming into the game, so hopefully we'll execute our plan and come out playing a great game.
And it doubles as the Locks of Love and Think Pink fundraiser. As a coaching staff, as an athletic department, it's nice that you guys can get out in the community and have these types of fundraisers and have them be successful. Yeah, we are still actually looking for anybody that wants to donate hair. It's just 6 inches is the least amount you can donate, and we're going to do that at the halftime of the men's game. So if you're interested in that, we're still looking for people, so we're excited. That is Saturday afternoon, the men's game there at Romano Gym. The men's game starts at 6 o'clock, so get down there and join the Bulldogs. Thank you very much, Coach. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Coach Stephanie Reiter. We're going to have more Bulldog Country coming up right after this on the My9 Sports Network.
Bulldog Country is sponsored by UMD Stores. Check us out on the UMD campus or online at umdstores.com.
Welcome back. Minnesota high school hockey has proven to be great preparation for players interested in the Division I collegiate level, but it's not the only way to go. UMD freshman Kyle Osterberg left high school after his freshman season and joined the U.S. National Development Program. And thus far, that route seems to have worked for Osterberg's collegiate career.
This UMD player profile is brought to you by Mining Minnesota.
Crandall, perfect feed, and look at that. Osterberg scores for the Bulldogs. Kyle Osterberg, and
So far, that's probably been one of the best choices of my life.
That choice came for Kyle Osterberg when he was just 15 years old. But after spending 2 seasons with the U.S. National Development Program, it's not one he would change.
I would never regret doing what I did. I was lucky enough to get that opportunity. It was probably something that I'll cherish forever because I got to represent my country.
While he did get to wear the red, white, and blue, Osterberg admits it was tough to leave behind his family and friends.
You're obviously away from home. Your new family is all your teammates, so you just go with them every day, and then traveling so much that you spend all your time with them.
This season, Osterberg has made a new family, though. Paired on a line with Justin Crandall and Tony Cameronese, Osterberg says he has them to thank for making the transition a smooth one.
They helped me come in here and pretty much get my feet wet, so my first year is going pretty well, but I thank those guys for it.
Those guys, though, in true family fashion, throw the credit back at Osterberg.
He makes the game so easy for me. First in on the forecheck, back checks, does everything right, works hard all around the ice, and you give him an opportunity in front of the net and he'll score.
And he works his butt off, and that's something that he's very proud of, and it's something that we all see, and he helps the rest of the team. You see a guy battling like that in the corners in practice, it kind of makes every one of us want to do the same thing.
And joining us one more time is head coach of that UMD men's team, Scott Sandelin. Coach, continuing to talk about Kyle a little bit, he's been another freshman for you that's just been phenomenal. You told me at the beginning of the year this is going to be a guy that fans are going to enjoy watching in a UMD jersey.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just see the way he plays. I mean, he's very tenacious. He's got a good skill level. He's ultra competitive. I mean, I think you see that in every shift. Sometimes to a fault, but you're never going to take that away from him. And it's nice to see him having some success offensively because when we did watch him as a young player, he was pretty dominant at his age group and played the same way and was able to score. And I think going to the development program and even the USHL maybe didn't produce as much as he wanted to. So it's nice to see him have a good start offensively, but just love the way he plays, and I think he's a huge spark for our team.
This weekend, you take your team out to Western Michigan. You joked last time we talked that every time we talk, we call the next weekend the biggest weekend of the year. But, I mean, they're 3 points ahead of you in the standings, so certainly 6 points this weekend would go a long way in the NCHC for your team.
Yeah, and a team right now that, I think we saw them before Christmas. It was a very tough series. I think they're a team that doesn't give you a lot. They got some big bodies that can lean on you, and, they get to the net very well. So we've got our hands full defensively, and I think we need to use our speed and really try and find ways to get through the neutral zone with speed. I think that's really the key against them. And once we get in there, you got to really move and get pucks to the net and do those types of things. So not a lot changes, but again, they're playing very well, coming off the GLI championship and a sweep of Miami and going into St. Cloud and getting 5 out of 6 points. So they were off last weekend, so hopefully maybe we can take advantage of them, be a little rusty on Friday, and have a good start.
They came here earlier this season and split with you at AmSoil Arena. Did you learn anything from that series, or is this just two completely different hockey teams at this point in the year?
Oh, no, I think that was a good indicator. I mean, I thought it was very tough. I thought, we had a great start Saturday to get up 3-0, but, they crept back in, and it took, again, an Alex Iafallo power play goal late to win the game. But I thought Friday's game, it was a pretty even game, but they're a team that kind of wears you down, and like I said, they kind of lean on you, and they keep pushing, and they don't give you a whole lot. So you just got to stay within what you're trying to do. You can't really panic or get frustrated. You might go in there going, hey, we're only going to get 20 to 25 shots a game versus 35 or 40. So you just have to go in there with that mentality and play good offensively and defensively, and hopefully, come out of there with points. We've been good on the road this year, so hopefully that continues.
Well, best of luck, Coach. We'll check in with you next week.
Thank you.
So with that, we're going to say goodbye, Bulldogs fans. Remember, you can keep up with any and all UMB news on our website, nncnow.com. We will be back same time, same place next week. Until then, I'm Zach Schneider. Thank you for watching Bulldog Country here on the My9 Sports Network.